Untamed is just the king for solo builds. This is a Condi Untamed solo build that is extremely tanky, does amazing amount of damage and has extreme sustain as well. It's just very, very good. If you're interested, be sure to watch the whole video to not miss out a thing. And now let's jump right in. So like I said, this is a Condi Untamed build. If you want to see a power version, be sure to check out this video in the top right hand corner, or the link is in the description as well. Credits for the original build to Lord Heisen. I just attempted it. And I want to promote it because it's so fun to play as well. And of course, special shoutouts to all my Patreon, Twitch and YouTube supporters that help me keep the lights on. Thanks a lot. So for gear, you want to go full Celestial. It's very straightforward. Again, Rune of the Trapper, best option, and just a lot of stats that you get passively. For weapons, you want to go with Dagger Mace and Dagger Warhorn. You only need one dagger though. And you should use Superior Sigil of Frailty and Strength, and again Celestial stats. You can swap the offhand Mace, for example for offhand Torch, or even offhand Dagger if you want to. They are both really good as well, more damage I would say. However, the Mace provides some really nice CC and cleanses and stability and barrier, so it's really nice for the defensive tools. But if you don't need them, you can go for the more aggressive option. For trinkets, you would also go with full Celestial with Condi infusions if you can afford them. For your relic, you would go with Relic of Aristocracy just for more condition duration, and you have the maximum stacks permanently. You can also, if you want to, you can go for Relic of Thorns, which is a very nice option as well. So it gives you a stacking damage, condition damage buff when you are hit by a poison 4. The enemy should always be poisoned with this build, so that means that you actually can stack up quite high amounts of condition damage. However, this requires you to be in a quite long fight, because you only can get that every 5 seconds, so that means the fight has to be at least 50 seconds long for you to make that work. But if you're in a solo scenario, typically fights can be that long, so that might be the more worthwhile option. Just keep that in mind. Addition for the gear, if you want to go for a ranged option, you can replace the mace with a shortbow. So you would run shortbow, dagger, warhorn to get some nice ranged option with the shortbow as well. Typically the DPS is lower than if you can go with the melee of the dagger, but it's not necessary to do so because some bosses require to go ranged, so this would be another alternative weapon. For food and utility consumables, you would go with peppered cured meat flatbread, just for the most amount of condition damage and minus 10% incoming damage. If you can't afford the Ascended version, you would go with koi cakes. Yes, the stats are swapped, but they are still very, very worthwhile and they are very cheap. For the utility consumables, you would go with Master Tuning Crystals or something that has similar stats. For your pets, you want to go with a Juvenile Fang Iboga, for sure. This one is really nice. It gives a lot of Immobilize, Confusion Access and Torment. It's just a very strong pet. For the second one, you can go for any spider. You will see that why. It's really good. Any spider that applies a lot of poison. You can go for the Siege Turtle. The Siege Turtle gives some nice projectile denial, so it's really worthwhile there as well, a lot of CC. I personally really like to go for the Spine Gazer. I think it just looks very fun, and it's also applying a lot of Torment and Confusion and has some nice boon conversion as well, if you fight foes that have that, but typically the best pet is definitely the Iboga. For your traits, you want to go with Wilderness Survival, Skirmishing and Untamed. Wilderness Survival is your defensive trait line, gives you some nice dodge recovery, protection when you dodge, and healing when you have protection, so that means you just get a lot of healing passively when you dodge, and also protection, it's just very strong to negate damage. Then this is the trait that I was talking about. Spiders now deal more damage, and you get more expertise, and spiders get even more. So that's why spiders are so strong with this build, but this is just more expertise is really, really nice, even though if you don't use any spiders. Then you get a Condi Cleanse when you swap pets. That's really nice. If you need Condi Cleanse, you can use that. If you don't need Condi Cleanse, you can go for Survival Instincts or, of course, Ambidexterity for a very high damage increase. But I would say if you play a solo build, sometimes you want to have some Condi Cleanse, so dropping a little bit of damage for some more Condi Cleanse is worthwhile. But of course, if you know this boss doesn't apply any Condis, you can go for this for a little bit more damage. And then last, you have Carnivore. It's immense lifesteal. It's crazy. Even on a Celestial build, you deal a lot of power damage with this trait, and you get high amounts of healing from it. So whenever you disable, every quarter of a second, you actually heal yourself for over 3k. So that's insane, and you have a lot of disables, and it's crazy how much heal you actually can get out of that. Then you have Skirmishing, just a very aggressive trait line, Swiftness, Fury, when you swap weapons in combat. And you also get some nice crit chance increase and damage increase. That's nice, but you're Condi build for the most part. Then when you crit, because of Celestial, you actually crit quite a lot. You apply Bleeding. That's really nice. So just a high amount of bleeding passively. Your bleeding is more dangerous, really nice. And you, even though you don't play shortbow, you actually get on dodge 10% more damage increase. And the duration is also. So keep that in mind. It's really nice that you just get a lot of condi damage and condi duration just from dodging as well, which you should probably do anyway if you want to avoid attacks. Then Untamed, just a very, very strong trade line as well. Get access to your Unleash, and you can unleash your pet or yourself. Depending on the state, you actually get new skills. So the skills on, if the pet is unleashed, you get Venomous Outbursts, so some nice damage and vulnerability access. You get some nice boon removal and a blast finisher. And you get an Enveloping Haze, which is also a projectile block in a poison field. So you can use that to combo. Those skills are always the same, doesn't depend on the pet. But, of course, if you swap and you get unleashed, you get access to Ambush skill, which on Dagger is a very nice vulnerability access, bleeding, poison, and it's a teleport. So it's a shadow step to your enemy, 600 range. It's also quite nice to reposition. So keep that in mind, always use that. It's a very nice damaging skill. Other than that, disabling a foe applies conditions based on the current state, so either slow or poison, really strong as well. Then you get some nice vitality buff and some nice life siphon and just more damage, or also decreased damage, so it's really nice. This one is extremely strong. Disabling a foe with a 1 second ICD grants you boons based on your current state, so either quickness or stability depending if your pet or you are unleashed. This is really, really strong. A very high amount of duration because you're a Celestial and you have boon duration in the kit. And either quickness or stability are really strong, so keep that in mind. It's really, really good. Then lastly, we get Restorative Strikes. Whenever you or your pet unleash, gain protection and convert a percentage of strike damage into healing for a short duration. It's only strike damage, it's not condi damage, but still you deal some strike damage because you're Celestial. And every 10 seconds you get that buff. For 4 seconds, you get 33% of your outgoing strike damage heals you. That's immense, and you get some nice protection. So it's a very nice healing ability as well. For the utility skills, you won't always go with We Heal as 1. It's very nice. Just get some nice boons that will be copied to your pet and just a very strong heal. You can swap that, for example, if you know that there will be attack that deals some heavy damage. To deny the attack, you can go with Perilous Gift, because then you will be, so to say, invulnerable for 3 seconds. And you heal after that for 50% of your missing health. That's also very nice. And you get some nice buffs as well. But typically, I would say if you don't need that, you can go for We Heal as 1, which is a little bit of a better option in general. You can also go for the Condic Lens heal with Healing Spring. Then you always want to go with Quicken in Zephyr. It's a stun break, gives super speed and quickness. It's really overloaded. This skill alone almost gives you 50% uptime on quickness, so keep that in mind. Use that, it's really strong. Then you have Exploding Spores. This is a CC skill and procs all your CC traits, but it's also giving you might or protection and deals some heavy damage and applies poisons and removes spoons. It's really overloaded. Use that off cooldown. It's really strong, especially when there's a CC bar up. Lastly, you have Sun Spirit. That's just some nice damage and some might that you get. Use that off cooldown as well. You can swap out your utility skills if you needed to. You can go for invulnerability and more toughness. You can go for an evade and a stun break if you needed to. You can go for barrier and protection if you need to. You can even go for some Condic Lens if you need to. There are a lot of options here. Ranger has a lot of cool skills. You even can go for a teleport if you really wanted to, but typically this is what I would play. And lastly, we have Entangle, just a very strong CC skill. It's unblockable and applies a lot of bleeding as well. So that's what you would do, just for the most amount of damage. If you need more damage reduction, you can go for Forest Fortification as well, but typically it's not necessary. If you need more stability, you can even go for Strength of the Pack, which is a little bit stronger in the terms of stability uptime than Forest Fortification, but for the most part I would go with the most damaging skill, which is Entangle. For your weapon skills and your rotation, you always are on Dagger, of course, because you only have the Dagger. You would start the fight on your Warhorn, use your Call of the Wild and your Hunter's Call for some nice vulnerability access, use your Spores and your Quickness Zephyr for some nice fast boons, and use your Sun Spirit to get some more might, use your Entangle, use your pet skills, and you should always try to start the fight with your pet unleashed, so use your pet skills, then you swap to yourself being unleashed, use your Neurotoxin Ambush and use your Dagger skills, and then you swap weapon if you wanted to, and use your offensive skills if you have Torch, for example, or Dagger, you can use those. Otherwise you would keep those 2 skills if you need CC or if you need Condic Lens or Barrier. And other than that, you just spam your auto attack and your 3-2 skills and all your other skills if you utility skills off cooldown. And of course use your pet skills. You can swap the pet if you need Condic Lens or if you want to get some more damage, or if you have 2 damaging pets. And every 10 seconds I would swap the Unleashed mode so that your pet can use some skills, and if you come back you can get your Neurotoxin Burst, so your Unleashed Embers as well. This is the rotation. It's very straightforward, quite simple to play. It's way less punishing than a power build. This build is very fun to play. I hope you have as much fun as I have with this build. I also hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks to all my supporters on YouTube, Twitch and Patreon. If you want to support my channel, be sure to check out the description. And now, thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.